Hi, this is Hamza. Welcome to my Audit Lab. Today we're diving into something very simple yet powerful, active listening. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, well, listening, I do it all the time, hold on. Here's a real life example. This large pharmaceutical was under tight regulatory scrutiny, and understandably, tensions were high. I was called in to do a compliance audit, and right from the start, I could feel the tension. The head of operations was not happy about the audit at all. He thought it was unnecessary and also felt it was an attack on his leadership. He was very defensive from our first meeting. Every time I asked him a question, he cut me off, saying everything was under control. But I could sense something behind his words. Fear of failure, maybe? Or fear that I would uncover something he wasn't aware of. It was there in his tone, in his body language. I didn't just have to listen to his words, but also to listen to what he was not saying. This is where active learning becomes more than just listening to words. It's about absorbing the whole conversation, the pauses, the hesitation, the words chosen, and the ones avoided. So how did I turn this around? I changed my approach. I stopped drilling him with focused questions and instead asked open-ended ones. I let the silences breathe. When he gave short, dismissive answers, I didn't push. I repeated his words back to him with a neutral tone. So you're saying everything is under control because you've taken such and such and such step, and that's highly commendable. But you still have some concerns about? Eventually, the walls started coming down. He started talking, not just about compliance, but about his real worries, about being understaffed, the pressures of meeting deadlines, and the chaos that sudden growth inevitably brings. By the end of the meeting, he started seeing me as someone not just an auditor who was out there to catch him for his personal glory, but a problem solver who wanted to work with him to address his challenges. Let's be real. People don't happily open up to auditors because we're seen as the bearer of bad news. There's a lot of fear and hesitance to being judged, of having their work scrutinized under a microscope, the worry about what the audit might uncover, and the perception that auditors are outsiders, with little to no understanding about their day-to-day challenges, swooping in to make judgments about them. People prefer being guarded than admitting they need help with their weaknesses. As auditors, we need to break down these walls of mistrust, and that comes with active listening. When people feel heard, they're more likely to share openly. How many times have you tried to share something only to have the other person half listen or worse to interrupt? It creates a sense of disconnection, a sense of disrespect. When we don't listen actively to the stakeholders, they feel that we're disinterested in their perspective, which only reinforces that resistance. People feel dismissed, devalued, and frustrated. Trust erodes quickly, and the audit becomes a battle instead of a collaboration. Here's a few tips at becoming good at active listening. Instead of yes or no questions, ask open-ended questions like, can you tell me more about this, that, or something? This invites people to open up. Don't rush to fill silences. Pauses can encourage deeper thinking from the other side. Paraphrasing what someone said makes them feel that you're truly engaged and gives them a chance to clarify. Body language, tone, hesitation, these often reveal more than the words themselves. It's a skill that takes time to build, but has huge payoffs. When you listen deeply, you build trust. And when they feel heard, they're more likely to collaborate. Let's zoom out for a second. Active listening is not just an audit skill. Think about your relationships, families, friends, even strangers. How often do you actively listen to the people in your life? What about your children? Imagine what would happen. Instead of half listening to someone speak and waiting for your next response, you actively listened and understood where they were coming from, and understood their fears, needs, and hopes. That, my friends, builds real connections. Connections that make you better humans, not just better auditors. Active listening teaches us patience, empathy, and humility. It reminds us that not every conversation is about being right. It's about understanding. In life and in auditing, people who listen deeply have the power to change outcomes for themselves and for others around them. Thanks for tuning into my Audit Lab. Stay sharp and keep auditing.